Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be making some delicious Bengali style shrimp curry with some lemony garlic rice. I hope you guys are super pumped for this because I am so excited to show you how I did a rendition of a friend's mom's recipe that I recently saw. It got me really missing home cooked food, so I really wanted to try and recreate it for you guys here. So stay tuned and let's get cooking. We're gonna need for the recipe, I used a big red onion, but you can use 2 small red onions if that's what you have. I also used 1 big hothouse tomato, but feel free to use 2 small tomatoes if that's what you have, 2 to 3, some green coriander and green chilies with the tops cut off. I have some ginger and garlic here cut up, some lemon slices because I didn't have lime, and of course some marinated shrimp. I actually marinated the shrimp with some paprika, chili powder, garlic powder, a little bit of coriander, and lime juice. I didn't have Kashmiri, that's why I used paprika for the color. You can also substitute whatever you'd like. And I also have some deshelled shells here. Obviously, I deshelled the shrimp and the ginger slices because I don't like biting into shrimp curry with the tails on, so I just use this to still get flavor into the curry by frying it in some oil and flavoring the oil with the shells and then taking the shells out and cooking everything all together with it. It's just a lot easier that way in my opinion. Also have some rice here cooking with some lemon zest, lemon juice, garlic powder, and olive oil, and that's gonna go great with everything else. So let's get started. Want to take a hot pan, pour some vegetable oil, canola oil, whatever you have into the pan. I'm also going to add some butter to this because I don't have any mustard oil. I wish I did, but I didn't have any. If you have mustard oil, please use it. And now we're just going to fry up the shells and the ginger pretty much until you can really smell the shrimp and the ginger. And also, of course, the shells will become pink and red. So you want to keep going. You even want to get a little bit of a char on them if you can, because then more flavor is being released into the oil. Right now I basically went off to turn on a fan because I didn't want it to get smoky in here. As you can see, I don't have an exhaust above my oven, so just have to kind of make do with whatever you got, honey. So as you can see, I'm trying to show you in real time how long this is going to take, as I usually do. Making curries takes a lot longer than people think, especially a good full-bodied curry, okay? You want to be able to taste everything. You want to see how deep the flavors can really be. You can definitely tell a shallow curry from a deeply flavored curry in an instant, especially if you are a curry connoisseur like me. So we're just going to keep just stirring it about and making sure that the oil is just getting drenched in that flavor of ginger and shrimp. Now we're just going to fry up the onion in that same oil. Now this is the part that I would say kind of takes the longest. You pretty much want to keep sauteing the onions until they're softened and dark brown. You want them to be brown. The browner the onions are, the better it is. You will even see in my video how much browner it gets, but you know, you can even go further than I did. And of course, I just showed you some butter, so we're gonna add some butter to that mix. You could add oil too, for sure. If you have mustard oil, like I was saying, add that mustard oil because it just adds that deep flavor that makes this curry even more authentic, Bengali style wise. For people who don't know, I'm half Bengali and half Indian. And a lot of people will tell you that's the same thing, but you can suck it. And we're just gonna keep sauteing. And of course, that was a joke for people who don't know me that well on this channel. I just like to joke around sometimes, okay? I don't actually want you to suck it or anything negative that way. I'm just being silly. So as you can see, we're just gonna keep letting those onions sweat and just release all that juice. It's so good. And you definitely want to keep adding water as the mixture keeps drying. That's something you'll see consistently throughout this video, is I'm going to keep adding water as it dries. I'm adding some sugar right now to add a bit of sweetness and also to help caramelize the onions some more. Sugar is a great way to get a bit of a caramel a bit faster if you don't want to spend like 2 hours making a curry. Even this took me a while. I want to say this whole process probably took me about an hour altogether to cook everything, and then maybe like 20 minutes to prep. Because once you like add the shrimp, that's fast, but it's building the curry base that takes the longest. So now we're just adding in some bay leaves, added in about 3, and some peppercorns. I have a mix of peppercorns, green, pink, and black, so that's what I opted to use. Use whatever you have available. Oh God, I wish you guys could smell this right now because it is so amazing. It's at a medium heat. How soft the onions should be looking, and you should be adding in water as much as it dries out, and it's looking good. Okay, so this is how you can kind of indicate what it's going to be looking like, and just keep an eye on it. As you guys can clearly see from the last clip, it's a lot darker than before. You want to keep caramelizing it. You can definitely take it further, but this is how far I went with it. I'm just showing you what it's looking like. And it just looks so freaking delicious. I just can't wait for you guys to see this. You want to add in the tomatoes. I honestly was getting so hungry at this point. I couldn't wait to keep browning it. So you want to keep stirring up the tomatoes until it softens to the point where you can just mush it with the back of your spoon. And then you can add in the spices after that point. That I'm adding some water because this not only helps everything steam and just cook, but also helps add that depth that we want. It helps soften the vegetables a lot faster and really creates that curry base. I like a little bit of slurry in my curry, you hear me? This is what it's gonna look like, okay? I'm showing you the consistency here, how thick it is. It's gelling together. Oh, so yummy. So now I'm going to add in some sazon goya for a bit of color. As I said, I did not have Kashmiri chili powder at home, which really adds that red color you want in this food. And I'm adding in the ginger and the garlic as well, along with some crushed garlic. I'm going to add that in a bit. I'm just stirring everything up. You pretty much want to cook the ginger, garlic, pretty much until they're not raw anymore. You want to get that rawness right out. So you have to keep cooking it for a bit until you can break down the piece of garlic with your spoon. That's pretty much how I test it. Because I like a little bit of bite to my garlic, and it's really good to have garlic as raw as possible. So it's really not that bad if it's still a bit tough to break through. Just keep on cooking that until it becomes even more delicious than you could ever imagine, guys. Now, and I'm now adding in the spices because we want to cook the spices for a bit as well. This is some coriander. You want to take about 3/4 teaspoon because I put in 1/4 teaspoon in with the shrimp when I marinated it. I'm also taking my chili powder, pretty much all that I had. American chili powder is very different from Indian chili powder, just so you know. So that's why I added in some cayenne right here to add that spice, that chili powder that we have in South Asia would normally be. Also some turmeric. I just kind of eyeballed it. I did not measure it because I was not about to work with the top. It was just like, less work. I'm tired at this point. It's like almost 10 p.m. and I'm still cooking. So you keep stirring, and you want to do the same thing as you did with the ginger and garlic. Just keep cooking the spices until that rawness is out and it's completely melded in. You will be able to notice a smell difference. So pay attention to the smell so that next time you make curry, you know what to look out for. A lot of our cooking involves seeing how it looks and how it smells. That's how we know. Just giving you a little bit of a zoom in to kind of see how thick everything is getting. It's like a paste. And it's going to keep getting better, and keep adding water as soon as it dries out. And now I'm just adding in some spinach because I grew up with spinach, pumpkin, and shrimp curry, which is always my favorite. It's on the sweeter side, but I didn't have any pumpkin, so I just opted for some spinach because I still wanted to get my greens in. And you obviously just want to cook the spinach down until it wilts and mix in really well with that curry paste. You don't want it to be like fully wilted down, just enough so that, you know, when you do add the shrimp, it's softer than you started out, basically. Keep adding water to help steam and cook the spinach. And make sure to season every layer. Make sure you add your salt If you want pepper, you can, but ground pepper isn't really like a huge thing. We tend to use the whole peppercorns versus ground. A lot more flavor in that. You can also crush the whole peppers as you put it in, which is what I did when I added the bay leaves in the beginning. And we're just cooking down that spinach. Oh, my mouth is watering watching this again, even though I've literally had it all day. And now I'm just adding the shrimp. Of course, keep your shrimp in the fridge because after 30 minutes, it's really not safe to keep shrimp out in room temp. It can get really gross and smelly and not good for you at all. But the lime juice does help kind of keep it a bit longer, but be careful with it. I popped it in the fridge after maybe 30-40 minutes. And you want to just cook the shrimp until it's pink. Because we marinated with lime juice and spices, it will be a lot more tender even if you overcook it. But that's the beauty of this, cooking it in curry and sauce. I didn't have any yogurt, so I added some sour cream. I'm sure yogurt would be a lot better if you have it, Balkan yogurt, Greek yogurt, whatever you got that's thick, but I'm using sour cream. I do feel like the sour cream gave it a bit of an odd smell, so I probably won't do it in the future, but it's not like it's bad for you in any way, okay? It still gives you the creaminess that you want in this curry, but if you have yogurt, please do that. You just want to make sure that the yogurt is well blended in, no white streaks in the sauce, just completely blended in, which is what I'm doing. I'm smelling it right there. It just smelled so good. But at first I was like, is that sour cream? What is that weird smell? I had to get used to it. But I've eaten it 3 times now over the last 24 hours and I haven't gotten sick or anything. So I'm assuming it's just the sour cream weirdness. We don't normally use sour cream in our cooking, so it was a bit of a leeway on my part. There we go. Seasoning, salt and pepper. Up to you however much you want to put, especially if you're watching your sodium intake. I usually go a bit low on the salt just because my family has high blood pressure, so I'm a bit more careful about it. And just spread out the shrimp. I'm gonna give you a little view what it's looking like, and you just want to stew it until the shrimp is completely cooked. Okay, now we're gonna add in the aromatics, the coriander and the green chilies. The green chilies give this such an unforgettable smell, and I also added in some lemon juice. Lime juice is better in this case, but use whatever you got. Oh, so good. It just smelled so amazing. And by adding in the lemon juice, the coriander, and the green chili, that sour cream vibe that I wasn't used to completely dissipated. So adding in aromatics is so important, especially right near the end. Don't add it in the middle. You want it right near the end so that it just gives you that gorgeous smell and really enhances your appetite. It's so good. And the spice it gives in the curry, it's just like that perfect kick you need. It's not so spicy where you're like, I can't eat this. It's just the perfect balance. So, so good. I added in about 5 green chilies. You can add more or less. And this is the shrimp curry and the lemon rice, you guys. Oh, how good does that look right now? I can't wait for you guys to try this one. And if you do, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and let me know what you thought. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys are having a great week. Take care.